G'day and welcome to the Larry Lakers, the Dribbling Chit Chat Show. Look, we've got reports today via YouTube that Austin Reaves has saved the USA. Now, could that be possible? He's a great player. He's a Lakers player. He's playing for the USA in warm-up games. But could Austin Reaves really have saved the USA? It's true that there are reports that Austin Reaves has saved the USA. Look, the USA played Spain. Spain came back at them a few times. Just before half-time, it looked like Spain would take a lead, but the defence of the USA turned themselves up a fair bit and put some pressure on the perimeter and made a little run back into the game. And then again, just in the fourth quarter, Spain came back at the USA. They didn't get it all their own way. First time in the 3 warm-up games they've played towards the FIBA World Cup. But there were some other players. Jalen Brunson, 9 of 9. The perfect game. Sounds like something you'd watch in a Kevin Costner movie, The Perfect Game. Jaren Jackson, 14 points. But that wasn't all he did. The 5 boards and the 3 block shots from the leading shot blocker in the NBA. Very handy from Jaren Jackson. And Mikal Bridges with a very, very handy 12 points. Tyrese Halliburton, a lot to be talked about the guard play from Austin Reaves. They're teaming well together. Tyrese with 12 assists. And 3 players were on 11 points. And so that question there from Jono at Scotown, did Reaves really save the USA? I guess he played very well, Jono. It's a bit of a hot take perhaps to say that he did. The Lakers should be excited just as much, though. He played part of a team game. If it had to be a song, could Reaves also be the missing Beatle from Harley at Pieface? Good question, Harley at Pieface. Austin Reaves does look a little bit like he could be a Beatle back there in the 60s, 70s, but with a little help from my friends, he has played a great role in this team there that beat Spain. With a little help from my friends, Tim Huggs, Muscletown. Should the Laker fans still be excited about Austin Reaves' play? Yes, despite winning there with a group effort, the way he's fitting into the group, Tim, it's something special. There's a purple and gold chameleon on this page. One of them's a chameleon and the other one is Austin Reaves. Now, he's fitted in, undrafted, and since the All-Star break in the NBA, he got 17.6 points a game. He shot 57, just about 58% from the floor, 44% from the three-point line. That's great. And nearly 86%, just when the Lakers looked like they were terrible free-throw shooters. How handy was it to have Austin Reaves as someone? LeBron goes to the line. As great as he is, you're never quite sure if all those free throws are going to go. Anthony Davis, who was great, some of them didn't go in the playoffs. And 5.5 assists to 2 turnovers. That's a great rate as well. One's a chameleon. The other one is Austin Reaves. Whatever the company, Austin seems to be able to match up, just as we're saying, like the purple and gold chameleon. Some nice bits from the play against Spain. What were they? Some good questions have come in. Look, he got 11 points. 3 players got 11 points there. That was great. Mikal Bridges pipped him a little bit there. He had 12 points. But it was when he timed his points. Austin Reaves seemed to get them just at important times. Just before the half, credit though to the defence, they popped the ball away and it was pushed forward there by Tyrese Halliburton, and that dunk was beautiful, right on halfway for Austin Reaves. We know he's sneaky athletic. He got up there for that dunk just on half time. Late in the game, in that fourth quarter, just when Spain were coming back, they did it just before half and they pushed the USA again in the fourth quarter. But Austin did some great things, a nice little late game floater and a couple of defensive seals on bigger players. He boxed out bigger players, centres, power forwards for Spain. They were doing well with their big players inside Spain. They were giving the USA some trouble. Probably raises some questions for later on. But they were trying to post him up. He'd seal, reverse pivot around and tap the ball away. He'd slide over to double team and help defence down on the opposite low post, and he would get his body in to box out. Very clever off the ball, when a lot of people probably see all the work that he does on the ball. Big question here from D Dodds at Laguna Racket Club. I hope all's going well over there in the Elk Grove area for D Dodds. The big question is, versus the bigs, is Kerr relying too much or more and more on Paulo Banchero and Bobby Portis? Great question from D Dodds at the Laguna Racket Club. Believe it's in the Elk Grove area of Sacramento. Yes, Coach Kerr, very experienced internationally. Coached there with Popovich for a while as an assistant, both with the USA team and previously with the San Antonio Spurs as a player, and I believe an assistant, a player very clever on that extra pass, and he's got beautiful basketball going for the Warriors, and he seems to have placed a little bit of that, as you think would be natural, into this USA team, going away from the traditional all-superstar lineup. The one big there that blocks the shots, Jaren Jackson, but playing Paulo Banchero almost as a stretch four, and probably Bobby Portis as a bit more of a bump, push and shove player when they need him. That looks to be going well so far. 3 games, Spain the second highest rated, or the first, depending which rating you look at. So beating those teams, a good sign that something's coming together for these young players for the USA, including Austin Reaves from the Lakers. What's next, says Tedo from Sacramento. Well, Tedo, it's good to have a couple of questions over there from California. What's next? Greece. We're playing Greece on Friday. The team here going very well. Germany on Sunday. Now, we'll talk about Germany a little more in a minute. Then it all starts for real on the 26th of August with the USA versus New Zealand. Looking at this lineup, playing very well. And again, a former Laker there, Brandon Ingram. He was one of the 3 players in a tie there on 11 points. Very, very good. We haven't seen much of Josh Hart over here, another Laker, former Laker. Let's settle down a little bit, fans. But we haven't seen much of this one, Mr. Hart, but we've seen a fair bit of Mr. Ingram over here. A good team, very much a team where Anthony Edwards looks to be a player. When you looked at the game in Spain, he looked like a player who could get to the hoop, muscle his way. He popped out very late in the game, and he popped away, blocked a 3-pointer, just when it looked like they needed a few stops. They got a couple back-to-back. Spain were pushing them, and Anthony Edwards blocked a 3-pointer, tapped it over to another player who pushed it ahead for him, floated a pass over, and he got the runaway thunderous dunk. So he really is looking like the man-child of this young group of players. And the finesse person who looks like he, in most company, can be a little bit better athlete than anyone else and get to the hoop, looks like being Brandon Ingram, the former Laker. Who else looks good? That's from a question from Sean at Abbey Takeaway. Sean, great question, because we can sometimes have the blinkers on, look like we're just looking at the USA, but there's other teams in FIBA. Every now and then teams have snuck up and beaten teams, and what I've also noticed is there's Lakers everywhere, or former Lakers. In this case, Dennis Schroeder is playing very well for Germany. They've also got Mo Wagner and his brother playing as well. Germany, quite a good team. A couple of other current NBA players. They're one to watch. They had a cracking game against Canada. Now, Canada and Germany have played each other twice. They've had a game go either way. Yesterday, I watched a game where Canada were behind for much of the game and pushed home, especially when Dennis Schroeder, the former Laker, was off. And as he does, he swerved his way in there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, leaning into his opponent close to the ring, and very frustrated some of the players that the fouls would be called. seems to be sort of swerving and jumping into them, but the man can finish. He's got control. He's got that change of speed. You've got to be good enough to do it, and he did that, as did RJ Barrett late in the game. So two very good teams, just to name a few out there, other than the USA and Spain, and of course we would one day hope Australia. Plenty of NBA talent in that Canadian roster, as we just mentioned. RJ Barrett, we just said, finished the game well. Dylan Brooks, gave him a little bit of angry defence there, as does Lucas Dort. What a classy defender he's been. People have said, is he a James Harden stopper, when OKC a couple of times have had to play against James Harden? In the playoffs there, he played one particular playoff. He really looked like he was shutting him down. He was on a bargain contract, but now a lot better circumstances. Good to see these players come through and play. Corey Joseph, the veteran. Jamal Murray, what a pickup. A lot of players, if they've been in the finals, struggle to turn around that quickly if they've been in the NBA finals and then play for the USA team and be fully fit. We saw it there with the Holiday there, and some of the players that came across Chris Middleton for the USA last time at the Olympics. So the fact that he's available so quickly is a credit to him, and what a lineup Canada's got. And yesterday, for a big, Kelly Olynyk, another NBA player, but a big that could come on and score some threes, which really sort of helped them come back against Germany. You've been listening to the Larry Lakers. Please like, subscribe, comment, and go to the podcast on all good providers. We'd love to see a few comments there on the YouTube as well. The Larry Lakers at Gmail if you've got a question. Coming soon. What's coming up then for the Larry Lakers? We've talked about the US. What about the Larry Lakers dribbling chit chat? We love to hear what you'd like to have a chit chat about. Here's our next question. Next episode. Where is Wenyan? Wenyan, one of the favourites of the Lakers. We said we'd cover the players at the end of the bench, the people's champions, the battlers, the Neville Nobodies, as some Australians call them. But Wenyan was a crowd favourite last year. The energy, a little lighter and a little shorter than some of the bigger players, the massive centres that he had to play, but gave it everything, really brought on some energy off the bench. A crowd favourite, hasn't been signed this year to our knowledge. There's still 2 spots in the Lakers. Fans would love to have him back. We've got 2 spots. It's very hard to see how he might come back, but I guess there's still a chance. We've wondered where he is. We've found him. We'll tell you on our next YouTube episode. In the meantime, thanks for listening to and watching the Larry Lakers. Please forward the dribbling chit chat of your own, and we will look forward to catching you next episode. Once again, goodbye.